Hello peeps, Dee here. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my studio and welcome to this little tutorial. It's a very simple tutorial. What do I have here? What could this be? I have basil. Basil that I'm rooting. Yes, trying to spin off some baby basil from my plant. And I decided, because I love these wee yogurt containers, to go back to my roots. And by that, I mean, when I first started, I covered a lot of jars. A lot. There wasn't a jar, a glass jar in my house that was safe from being covered with clay. Okay, that's an exaggeration. I didn't cover them all with clay. But it's something that we did a lot. No, the ones that I did those many years ago, I would just slap canes on and whatever I happened to have. So they weren't really, there wasn't a lot of planning that went into them. And they took a lot longer to do than these. Now, I happen to like wee yogurt. I like it a lot. One of the things I love about it is the jar. It's a glass jar. And that's what these are, wee yogurt containers. Now, you can also get lids for them, which I love. I love the fact that, yeah, I can get lids on these little suckers, and they then turn into really nifty storage containers. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to put leftover food in these and pop them in my refrigerator. Probably not. But this is the season for growing herbs and various things. And I happen to love basil. So this is a naked wee container. Oh, I just spilled water. With my cuttings in it. And I thought, well, I would really like to have something prettier than a naked wee jar. So I took some naked jars and I covered them with clay. And that's what we're going to do in this class. These are my little cutting jars. I think they're going to look great on my kitchen windowsill. Yeah, so let's get started. So what are you going to need for this class? Well, obviously you need a glass jar. Now, glass is pretty much the ideal material to cover with clay because it doesn't expand and contract that much. And I used to cover wood with clay, but that was always a little problematic because, you know, wood is quite responsive to humidity. It expands, it contracts, it expands, it contracts. And frequently, when I did it, it ended up meaning that my clay would crack because the clay was far more brittle than the wood. So I stopped covering wood a long time ago. Also, because, you know, there are qualities of wood. Well, there are qualities of everything, but particularly with wood. You get a piece of wood that has a lot of knots in it or has, you know, it behaves differently. So anyway, I don't do that anymore. I only cover glass like this. These perfect wee containers. So obviously you need the glass containers. You're going to need clay to cover. Now, I fished these colors out of my color box and I put them together, and I made some small adjustments to the color, which we'll do in class. You're also going to need, if you want to do what I did here, I just figured it was a little plain, so I wanted to add just a little bit of something. Now, this is black clay with gold acrylic paint, and then I've got some little glass crystals in the donut holes. You want to make sure you get glass. You don't need Swarovski fancy schmancy, but you do need glass. You can't use plastic. So just make sure that you're using glass. The texture is from this. This is dual plex refrigerator liner, and that's how I made the texture on the outside. So that pretty much in a nutshell. Oh, liquid clay and a brush. But that pretty much is, that's it. You're not going to need a lot. So now it really is time to get started. All right, so let's take a look at our jars. Now this I used before for something. I use these jars for a lot. I really like them. Anyway, of course, when you get your wee yogurt, you're going to have a label on it. Now, if you pull this label off too fast, you're going to leave some of the adhesive that is sticking this to the glass behind. So you don't want to do that because it's a real pain and it's very difficult to remove. Trust me. Ask me how I know. All right, so you're just going to start by just peeling back a corner, but just make sure you go slow. Just take your time and go slow, and if you go slow, then the adhesive will stick to the sticker, not the glass. Now, do you have to remove this? And, you know, the sticker is rather thin, so if you put a medium to thick sheet of clay over it, I think that you wouldn't see the shape of the sticker, but I just prefer taking it off. Now see, I am leaving some behind like that, so I'll just wipe it down with alcohol. The alcohol will not remove it all. I'm telling you, this adhesive is quite stubborn. So that's what you're going to do on both labels, is remove them. Also, really, when you look at the inside, you don't want to see the back of the label. I really love these little wee jars. And if you go to places like Temu, they actually sell lids for these little jars. I love it. So I have some that I just use as food containers, because of course glass is much better than plastic. All right, so there's a little bit left on there, so let's try to get rid of it with a little bit of alcohol. Actually, I just did my nails, so maybe acetone is the way to go. That's just a little residual acetone on a paper towel. Acetone's much stronger, of course, than isopropyl alcohol. I need to get some more. I am almost out. I'm going to be careful with this because I don't want to dissolve my nail polish and have to do that again. My least favorite thing to do. I don't like doing my nails. Yuck. I love YouTube. I love doing this. I love my channel. I hate doing my nails. It's my least favorite thing in the world. Okay, that and getting gas for my car. That I don't like that either. Okay, so if you take a look, yeah, there it is, gone. So use a little bit of acetone on a paper towel and you can get rid of any residual glue. So let me finish with this one. I'm also going to take, see, I left some there, so let me just clean these off. And then I'll be ready. We'll be ready to start my basil pots. I'll be back. So I cleaned up the jars. We're ready to cover them. So I reached into my color boxes and I just grabbed a bunch of colors. Now I'm going to mix this together to form one color. This one, various yellows, and you know, a bit of package yellow. And then this, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So let's get all of these as they are prepared and let's see what colors we do have. After that, we'll adjust them if necessary. I'll be back. So here are my colors. I'm going to pull back just a bit. All right, so this is a yellow that I don't particularly like. It's a yellow that looks very green to me. Not my favorite. I like a yellow that leans to the orange. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take that, maybe that's a little much. Maybe that, okay? Now, this green is a little bit bright for my taste. So I'm going to take this scrappage, which you can see has that really dark hunter green that I like making, which is green and red primarily. So I'm going to mix this. This should darken it up, even though I have some light colored clay in there as well. This is close, very close to what I like, but it's a little bit too orange for me. I would rather have something that's more berry color. So to get this, bring this to the berry, I'm going to take magenta and mix that in. So let me mix these and I'll be back. I'll be back. All right, these are my three colors. You can see, look what happened to my yellow. Very orangey, but I'm going to leave it. I like it. This is what happened when I added more magenta. Now, the base color, when I'm making this kind of berry color, is actually red and either orange or magenta plus white. Now, sometimes I have to admit it's red, orange, magenta, and white. It's kind of just a mixture of these colors, and it makes this berry color that I really like. Now, sometimes the berry color is even more berry. This is still a little bit orange. So if you want to turn it more berry, then all you have to do is add more magenta. These two are fine. This one I find a little bit dark, just a tiny bit dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some white to it, just like this, and let's see what we have. So these are my three colors. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover each of the jars with one of these colors. And, you know, it doesn't have to be very thick. And I think I'm not going to cover the bottom. It's kind of optional. You can cover the bottom if you like, but I think I am just going to be covering the sides. So let me roll this through setting 3 of my pasta machine, which is a good reasonable setting. See, it's not too thick and it's not too thin. So let's do that. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to texture it first. Okay. All right, I'm going to take this sponge. Do I have a longer one? I have so much of this sponge. I do, but this looks like it has some black in it. Not sure that's such a good idea. Okay, I'm going to stick with this one for now. Wish it was longer. Oh well. Okay, here we go. Let me roll it through. I'm going to roll back through setting number 3 again. These two together. Move my tea. And okay. Help me out some. I'm not too worried about things like this because I am going to be putting some decorative things on it after it's cured. So let us see. I'm going to go right under the lip. This is 2. It's actually 1, 2 and 1/2 inches. I will make it 2 3/4. I think I heard Louie. I heard that Louie boy. Okay, let me cut another straight edge down here. Okay. and now I need, that is 2. So where's 2.5? 1, 2.5, 2 3/4. There we go. So that is approximately there. Cut that off. My ruler is not wide enough to do it the other way, so this will be fine. Okay, so let's do some wrapping. Now I'm just lining it with the upper edge, and I'm leaving it like this because who knows, someday I may want to use this for something else, so I'll want a lid. I'll want to be able to use that lid. Now I am stretching the bottom as I go around. Okay, aligning this and just gently pulling on it like so. All right, press it, then open it up again, and that's the line right there, just like so. Bring it back around. Try to join that. Push it back in like that. Stretched a little bit too much, so if that happens, you might just have to not fight it and then cut to make a new cut. Yeah, polymer clay stretches. How about that? Okay, bring the ends together. Then, once again, now I'm just going to try to ease all of this in. This is like sewing. If you guys have ever done a set-in sleeve, something like that, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You have to ease too much fabric into too small a space. Yeah, it just happens. All right, now this isn't perfectly balanced. See how this is not? So in a situation like this, perhaps I should just cover the whole bottom because I don't know how this is going to sit. It may sit crooked. Okay, so let me take a cutter. Let's see if I get lucky. Find a cutter that is the right size. This is very close, not perfect, but that's what I'm going to use. Let me texture this. Rolling it through again. Let us cut a circle out of the sheet, like so. And then I'm going to take the same cutter and I am just going to see if I can use it and cut some of the excess clay away. Like so. This is a ridiculously skinny needle. I don't know why I even use it. This is better. Okay. Now this should make things just a tiny bit easier for me. Like so. Before, oh no, I'll do it now. Now you'll notice I did not put any kind of liquid clay or anything on it because frankly it's just not necessary. This clay is capturing the wee jar. So it really is not necessary. So let me just stretch that up just a tiny bit. Just pull it over to close. I think I can make this look nice and tidy and neat. Okay, so that's a good start. That is a good start. So let's use our texture sponge and just start going over all these different seams and just try to push them together as I'm texturing. Okay, so let me finish this. There's Louie barking. And I will be back, but you can still see the seams. So let me continue. I'll be back. All right, so I covered it and I did a pretty good job of taking care of the seam. It's not perfect, but I think it's pretty good. Now, this is another thing you have to watch out for. I don't know if you can see that. See that? I'm moving a bubble. Yeah, see that? So what you want to do is you want to take a needle and you want to pierce all over, including the bottom. Everywhere there's clay, you pierce these little holes in case there's any air trapped between the raw clay and the glass. Yeah. It's simple, but it solves. It prevents a potential hazard. Bubbles sticking out. Honestly, you can't overdo this part. Here I am back at the beginning. There's, okay, don't forget the bottom. Okay, so this will be cured just like that. Let me cover the other two and I'll be back. All right, here they are. I've got my 3 little basil pots, my little basil planter pots. And you know what? I was going to bake them this way with the lip down, but I think I'm going to bake them this way. Make sure that they're sitting upright and not leaning. So this is the way I'm going to bake them. I'll be back. Okay, so they're out of the oven. They're still hot. I really like them. I like them. I do. All right, so I think that I'm going to try to make them relate to each other a little better as a grouping. And how can I do that? Well, here's one way. Because my pattern is going to be these spikes coming down from the lip down toward the base. So what if I did something like this? I take this green one and the spikes are this berry color. I take the berry color and spike the, let's say, the yellow, like so. Then I take the yellow one and I spike the green. So that's one way to, I think, have these pieces relate better to each other. You have the common spike pattern, but you also are reusing the base color in another piece. So that's one way, just like that. this with this, this with this, this with this. All right, so there's another way that I can deal with this. And although I'm not taking one color and putting it into another vessel, what I am doing is I have this common pattern, which is the spike. And the common pattern will bring these pieces together as well. Now, when I have the common pattern and the color, as I did before, I'm bringing them together in two ways, right? With the spike pattern and by borrowing colors from another vessel, putting it onto another one. Okay, so this is another way. And I like tone on tone. In other words, I'm going to take this color and add white. Take this color, add white. Take this color, add white. And the individual vessels, I really happen to like the way that looks. By taking a lighter color, the same color but lighter, I really like that a lot. I do it a lot. I'm not sure I'm going to do it this time. I think I'm going to do the first, the first setup where I'm taking one color and putting it in the other like that. But that's also something that you can do if you don't want to start taking these colors and sort of putting them on other vessels. Yeah, absolutely. There's something else that could be done as well. If I'm using the same spike pattern on each of these vessels, I could just take white. Very clean looking. You have the base color, then you have the white spikes, and those white spikes and that pattern is what brings it together again. You have that common pattern. Okay, so I think this is what I'm going to do. Like so. Okay, green, berry, berry, yellow, yellow, green. And that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pair them up that way. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I need to figure out what the diameter of the opening is. So I'm just going to take anything. Could be string, could be anything. There we go, just like that. Let's take a ruler. Oops. Oopsie. And let's see. That's like 8 and 8 1/4. So let's just say 8. I can kind of fudge it. So let's just say it's 8. Now, if I make every spike 1/2 inch like that, then I will get 16 around. 16 around. I think I'm going to make it a little more bold, maybe just 8, which will be 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. So each of the spikes will be 1 inch wide and come down like that. Okay, so let me roll my clay. I'm going to make each of the spikes the same thickness as the clay. You know what? I don't have to. I can make it thinner. Okay, so I rolled setting number 3. That's what I covered the jars with. I'm going to take this clay and roll it through setting 4. I'll be back. Okay, so I think I'm going to make myself a little pattern. Old business cards are great for this purpose. Yeah, I keep them around. I have so many old business cards. And they are just about 2 inches like that. So let me just mark and indicate. Hello. Oh, here's a pen. Look at kitty pen. Isn't it cute? Okay, so that is dead center. Close to dead center anyway. Yeah, my business cards are not exactly 2 inches wide. like so. Then let me just measure, following that. Okay, so how long do I want this? How far down do I want this to go? Let's just say, if it's 2 inches, the spikes will end here. That will leave some of that green at the base. I could make it go farther so that the spike goes all the way down, but I think I'd like to leave a bit of that green so it comes up 2 inches, but it doesn't go and wrap all the way around the bottom. So I'm just going to make it 2 inches. Yeah. And I'll give it a go. If I don't like it, then I will simply make it longer or shorter. I have plenty of business cards. So I'm not a very good draftsman. Not very good at this draftsman stuff. Also, I think I'm going to do it again. I'm not going to use pen. I think this pen could actually transfer, this ink could transfer onto the clay. I don't really want that to happen. So that's kind of what it's going to look like. If I made it 1/2 inch, of course, it would be like... All right, so just quickly, let me cut one and see what it looks like. I am going to texture them, but okay, I'll texture it. Let's not waste any effort. I'm gonna texture it. Now, I have to get 8. I think I'll be able to do that, but I don't really know. I need 8. Am I gonna get 8 out of here? Yeah, I will. I'll get 8. Now, let's see. Go to the seam. So that's what it's going to look like. Do I like that? I can certainly change my mind. I don't have to stick with it if I don't like it. Right? Oops. Oopsie. Kind of messed that up. Okay, here we go. Let's just get 2 of them down to see what it looks like. Okay, so I think while the concept and the idea of borrowing a color, maybe this just isn't the right color on here. Let's try something else. What happens if I put it on the yellow? Will I like it better? Because I didn't really particularly like it on the green. I think I like it better on this color. And maybe I'll do just a little experimentation first. Let's try putting these various colors on the colors and see what happens. Okay, so let me do that. I'll be back and I'll show you what I come up with. Okay, so this is what I have. I tried the berry on the yellow orange, the yellow orange on the green, and the green on the berry. You know what, as much as I like the individual colors, I'm not really thrilled with the way this looks. And so what I'm going to do is I'm moving to Plan B. Plan B is taking each of these colors, adding white, and doing tone on tone. I know I'm going to be happier with that. So I'll be back. Yep, had to try it. Now I'm going to take white and I'm going to start making these pastels. Okay, I'll be back. All right, so I rolled my clay through setting number 4. I textured it with my dual-plex, and I trimmed a 2-inch strip with my ruler. Now, let us cut some of these pieces. I'll work from here. Setting that on, cut, oops, cut, cut. Now, the next one, all I have to do is align this just like that, and then from this corner, cut to that tip, like so. Then I do the same thing on this side, from that corner to the tip here, like so. So you just keep going that way, and when you do it, you'll be able to see it, that corner to that cut to the tip. All right. Now, I did this one before. I even shot it, but I'm gonna delete that. And what I discovered, remember I measured, so this is approximately 8 inches, a little more. But I had to trim some of this away, so I'm going to make these very tight around. I'm not going to leave any play around. Now that's the seam, so I'm going to cover that up. So liquid clay coming down like so. So let us take the first one. Just position it like so and let it go straight to the bottom, like that. All right, like that. Now the next one. Like so. Lift it up, put it right against that first one, then let it go straight down. And so forth. So that's what I'm gonna do. I need 8 of them. Oop. 3. And let me cut some more and I'll be back. So here is the second one. So I have 2, these 2 guys. Now I need to do the berry and then I'll be back. Okay, peeps, here we go. Green, yellow, orange, orange, yellow, and berry. But you know, these are screaming for some gold and maybe even little sparklies. They look awfully plain to me. No, I mean, you could just roll little black balls, you could whatever, but they are kind of screaming to me. Well, first of all, they kind of scream to me circus. And yeah, circus and sparkles, sparkly circus. Okay, so I'm going to apply 3 coats of gold paint. I need a tile to this sheet of black clay that I rolled through setting number 4 in my pasta machine. Okay, but first I'm gonna cut tiny donuts. Now I think I have some already pre-made, but I might as well show you. Might as well just go ahead and show you. So I will be back. I need to get some cutters. Okay, so I don't want huge donuts and I don't want huge crystals. So this is the size of the crystal I will use. I double checked right there. And this will be the overall size of the donut. So what I'm going to do is just cut. Now each one takes 8. My math is bad, but it's not that bad. I need 24. Dang. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to really push this down onto that tile so that doesn't happen. See how it got stuck in there? Yeah. You push it down, and what you want is the clay. See, not to do that. Not to do that. Help me, help me. All right. So sometimes it also helps to kind of, like that. See what I'm doing? I'm kind of, like so. Instead of going straight down, kind of wiggling it down. Okay, I know this is boring, so let me do 24 of these. Maybe I'll do 25 because it's always a good idea to have an extra or 2. I can even use those holes like so. And once I cut all of those, then I'm going to remove, well, I'll be back. I'll show you. I have to cut 24. Okay, so I cut 24 plus a few. Now I'm just going to lift the black clay up like that. Now, I didn't want to do it before. I didn't want to make the donut whole and then pull the clay up, because you know when you make the donut whole, it pushes the clay out, which makes it stick in the sheet. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to take the donut hole and just pierce down in. That was kind of lopsided. They're not going to be perfect, evidently. That's why you kind of need some extras too. All right. So let me do this. I also find that sometimes it's helpful to go very slow. Okay. like so. You can see the donut. All right, so let me finish this up and I'll be back. Okay, so I cut my donut. Some of the donut holes came out, but that is not a big deal. I don't really need the donut holes. So now I'm going to apply the paint. And I'm trying these days not to make too many of these because I end up with many tiles with this on, many donuts and cutouts on a tile. And then it gets old, and if it's old enough, sometimes it's no longer useful. So, you know, it's just wasteful. I'm wasting paint, I'm wasting effort, just wasting. So I know exactly how many I need, and that is how many I am going to make. Okay, so I'm going to do like 3 layers, 3 coats. And I should be letting them dry in between. Okay, I'll be back when these are done. All right, so let's put these on. Now, where to put them? Here. This is a difficult spot because there is a space behind, but looks good there. Little sparkly bit. Oops, it's a little wet. Okay, now what happens if I do one of these numbers down here? A little sparkly bit down there. How about right here between them? That's what I'm going to do. Let's give that a try. A little sparkly bit between. And I could even throw one of these little sparkly bits. Hopefully I have enough of these above it, like so. That looks good. Okay, I suspect I'm going to have to make more of these little tiny sparkly bits. All right, let us put a crystal in. I will get my crystal picking pencil. Here we go. I'm going to take a little ball stylus, put some liquid clay down in the donut hole. Plop that guy in there. Oh, that's sweet. It needed something. And that's what I'm going to do between each one. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so these are done. It's just a little bit of flash. Just a little sparkle and a little flash, not too much. So now I'm putting these in the oven and I'll be back. Well, peeps, here we are at the end of class. I want to thank you all for watching. If you're still with me, thank you. And I hope you enjoyed the class, and I hope you cover lots of little wee jars or whatever, whatever other little kind of glass jar you might have, because it is great fun. And as you saw in class, not very hard to do either. So, thanks again. Until we meet again, I'm Donna Kato, signing off.